Hello and welcome to FEMME-PRENEUR. Yes, you can, ladies. This interview series is specifically geared towards celebrating female entrepreneurs. I want to celebrate who they are, what they went through, how they got to where they are, and honestly, the biggest celebration for this one is the simple fact that they chose to go for it for themselves. We all know that the hardest step in being an entrepreneur is taking that first step, followed closely by not giving up on yourself when the going gets tough, especially for a female entrepreneur. That's what this channel is for. I'm here to interview, to give light, to give all of the praise that you absolutely deserve to all of the ladies on this channel. Thank you for being here and enjoy the show. Okay, so today I am here with my beautiful friend Amber from Flow with Amber. She is a yoga teacher and she has actually changed the way that I look at and the way that I love yoga altogether. So back in North America, I'm a certified yoga instructor, and I kind of always felt that I did yoga because I kind of felt like I had to do yoga. I knew it was good to me or good for me, so I forced myself to do it, but I never truly enjoyed it. I did it because I knew it was something that I should do for my body, so I did it, and at the place that I was working at the time, it was required of me. And I remember thinking, how dare you anyways? I was being paid to do yoga. Like, it was like a lovely gift to my body and I was being paid to do it, so I was like, okay, like, get over yourself. Yeah. But on the inside, I just never truly enjoyed it until I took Amber's classes, and it just totally changed the entire dynamic of yoga to me. It was really, really heartfelt and just so much more to it. I love the way that you keep us thinking through the movements. Even when we're held in a posture, you keep our minds focused, and that was always one of my biggest setbacks with yoga. Is when I was holding a posture, my mind would start to wander and it would get busy again, and I'd start thinking about the groceries, and I'd start thinking about the kids and the dishes, and I'd be like, no, just for 1 hour, just let me focus on my body and me. But you do a beautiful job of keeping us really engaged with your music, with your movements, with your words. It's really, really lovely. So thank you for doing what you do and for being here today.
Yeah, thank you, Jess.
And we're gonna jump right into question number one. So, did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? If not, when did you come to that realization or make that decision for yourself?
Definitely did not ever know I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Did not know.
No, had no idea. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs, and I have always been a teacher. I was a public school 5th grade teacher in Arizona for 7 years, and that is my gift. Teaching is what I'm good at. It's my dharma. It is what I'm meant to be doing. But I always thought, like, no, I'm a 5th grade reading teacher. That's what I am. Until I realized, hey, this job is actually like draining me, and the public school system is difficult, and the politics and everything. And this isn't serving me anymore. Like, I have these gifts, but I'm not feeling good about using them here. So I made a big decision to leave that life and leave it all behind, and jumped on a plane to Costa Rica and came here to do my yoga teacher training. And that was 2 years ago, May 31st, 2 years ago, that I did that, made that decision. And after that, I was traveling around in Costa Rica, up the coast, enjoying all these beach towns, and I landed in Samara, the best beach in Costa Rica. True story. And ever since I arrived, I was like, you know what? I can use this skill that I have now. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm certified. I can do this. And I jumped right into leading my own business. And yeah.
I think that is such a cool point to make, because there was only one woman in this entire, so far, in who I've interviewed, that actually said they knew from a young age, high school, she said, that she wanted to be an entrepreneur. Everybody else that I've spoken to either had no idea or like literally didn't even know what entrepreneurship was, I had never even heard the word until like my early 20s, and then started to kind of dive into what that was. And so beautiful being that this this topic, or not topic, I should say, this point being that our previous jobs in life, whether they were entrepreneurial or not, always give us these tools. Yeah. So I think that there's a mindset in life and in general where people are like, okay, so I want to be a teacher when I grow up. So you go and you do all the things. You go to school, you're like, teacher. Teacher is my focus. Teacher is my end game. That is it. So you go and you do the thing, and then you get there and you're like, this isn't quite it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I was passionate about it, but that flame is fading.
Right.
And so you chose to move forward and kind of follow your gut instinct and move in a different direction. Where I see people hold themselves back mostly is, I thought that was my dream and now it wasn't, and I feel like I failed. Or I feel like I was wrong, you know? But you weren't wrong. You were so not wrong, because all of those skills just fed into your gift. And now you were able to extract so many of those skills to build into this new business.
Absolutely.
And it's just like this different perspective and mindset on like building blocks, as opposed to like, this is it and that's your end game and that's where you are forever.
Throw it out and
when
put
we're
the new
so
one in.
young, you know, like 30, 40, 50, I don't care how old you are, like you are young. There is no time limit on when you can decide, you know what, this isn't quite what it was before. What else can I do with my skills and with my gifts?
Yeah, not feeling guilty about it. Like there was definitely so much guilt and fear, and like, but I'm a teacher. This is what I am. When you identify yourself with your career, then you have this attachment and this expectation, and you realize so much of that is you just putting pressure on yourself. It's not, you know, it's not what everyone else. No one else cares that I'm not teaching anymore. Like it's only me that really cares.
I mean, I'm sure your students miss you. But also, like, this is what I do. But also that this is providing me a good life and a steady income. So how dare I?
Give that up.
How dare I give that up? And how dare I be? You have this so selfish that I think I deserve or I want more or something different. When that's not what it's about. It's not about being selfish, and it's not about not thinking that or not being thankful for what you already have. But being able to recognize inside of yourself that this is no longer lighting you up. And being able to act on that is a really, really powerful thing.
Do you know how many people like reach out to me and just say things like, I love like seeing what you're doing right now. Like you look so happy, you look healthy, you look vibrant, like you look totally different than you did when you were teaching. And as much as like we know you're a great teacher, like you're in your element right now. And that's such like the validation, of course, that like, yes, you're right. Like I am doing something. I do look more vibrant and I'm glowing because I'm I'm in my flow. I'm doing what makes me happy.
You feel it, You feel it. And I love the people that take the time to write those messages. Like truly, like gifts to this world, 100%. So Amber, tell me about your business. What do you do?
Oh, good question. So my business is called Flow with Amber, and I'm a yoga teacher and an entrepreneur, in the sense that I don't only just do the physical practice, but I also tie in different mind-body workshops. I like to really branch out into different avenues to keep my practice and to keep my energy flowing. So I have an online platform where I teach Zoom classes like 3 times a week, and then I teach in person, which Jess gets to come to my classes.
Lucky me.
In front of the beach. It's quite a nice spot to do yoga. But yeah, so leading yoga classes, and then also leading workshops like my chakra course that I've developed. So like you said earlier, these stepping stones of our old jobs, our old careers, these are all things that have helped me in my new career as being this entrepreneur. And so the creative lesson planning that I used to love as a teacher, now I'm able to do with my chakra course that I've developed. It's like an 8-course series, and it's like teaching philosophy, chanting, meditation, yoga, really breaking through blocks and fears that hold us back, that keep us stuck in kind of these places where we don't feel like we're being lit up, like we keep talking about. So yeah, it's being able to not just be the yoga teacher that's burning my body out and teaching 7 days a week, but also like providing spiritual coursework, leading chanting circles, creating just a community of people, of like-minded people that want to come together and practice their spirituality and move their bodies and breathe together. And yeah, it's been a really nice long journey.
And constantly evolving.
When I first started, literally I was walking into hostels. I was like, hi, do you have like any people here that might want to do yoga? And there'd be like people chilling in the hammocks. I'm like, hey, do you want to do yoga with me? And they're like, sure. They're like, how much does it cost? I'm like, donation, like whatever. Go to the beach with like 2 people and teach a class and get like $3, you know, and it's like that was so awesome, you know, after like.
Look at the high. You're like, they said yes.
Yeah.
They said yes.
It's like, yeah, and that's how I had to start, and it was just taking that like first little step, and then it just kept growing, and then their friends would bring their friends, and hey, I met this person, can they come? And all of a sudden I have these big classes that I'm teaching on the beach, and now we need to find a new spot, and so then I moved to the park, and then the park isn't serving during rainy season, so now I'm looking for a place to teach. And so just the adaptability of being an entrepreneur is like the key, I think, of
seeking out the solutions to the problems.
You have to be a solution-based thinker if you're an entrepreneur, like always, because you will sit and you will wallow in your problems.
Well,
all
it's
day.
rain season, so I guess I'm out.
Guess I'm done.
Guess I'm not paying my bills this month, right? No, we cannot be this way. Right?
And then pandemic happens, and I'm like, okay, well, we're not allowed to be at the beach anymore. I guess the park is also part of the beach. Didn't know that until they kicked me out of the park and said, this is the beach. I'm like, no, the beach is the sand. I'm in the grass.
We're in the grass here.
Doesn't count. But no, so that's when I had to kind of move online, and yeah, it's just been evolving, and right now I'm actually moving offline, and I'm looking to create a platform of recorded videos so that I can have more flexibility in my schedule and just the freedom in delivering what I love doing, the teaching part, and having people work with their schedules. So
exactly, I think you'll be serving people on an entirely different level as well, again, because let's face it, people have busy schedules, so sometimes meeting that class time is just not in somebody's day. And to know that they can get home at 11 p.m. or wake up at 4 a.m. And still have that time with you and receive that energy from you, who they may personally connect with, is going to be, again, just a huge game changer. Another beautiful piece of the business.
Yeah, and it's like I have students in Germany, in the U.S., and Costa Rica.
Okay, let's talk time zones.
Time zones. I'm like, okay, so at 9 a.m. my time, it's 4 p.m. your time, which is 8 a.m. their time.
Which is 2 a.m. their time.
Yeah, and it's like Australia can't even be a part of this.
Yeah, sorry, Australia. But now you can. But now coming soon,
to Australia.
Which kind of, I guess, ties into number 3, because you talked a little bit about the pandemic, and number 3 is, what hardships have you faced either in your personal or professional life previous to or as you're growing your business? And I know that the pandemic obviously was something that was felt worldwide.
Absolutely.
But
we don't even have to talk about that. No, the hardships, man, just being an entrepreneur means that you are always out of your comfort zone. Like, you are playing so many roles, so many hats. And luckily I'm used to that as being a teacher, right? Like, you're also a therapist. You're also, the bus driver, and I never drove a bus, but
you're the boo-boo fixer.
Yeah, you're the nurse, you're the therapist, you're the mentor, you're all these things.
Right.
And that's the same in being an entrepreneur. So not only am I teaching yoga, I'm also the saleswoman, I'm also marketing, I'm also building websites, I'm doing all these things that I have no experience with. And it's just like learning as you go, piece by piece. And if you saw just like the posters that I used to have up around town, like Flow with Amber, it's like Times New Roman font, like Flow with Amber, and then it's like a million words, and then like no images. It's just like the ugliest poster there ever was.
I'm just envisioning somebody standing in front of this poster that's a million words, like you're saying, and like trying to like read through this description.
It's like Spanish English, like, probably terrible Spanish. But no, it's just like all of these pieces that I realized, oh my gosh, I have to do that and that. It's like, people think, oh, she teaches 1 hour of yoga a day, it must be nice. Then she goes and relaxes on the beach. It's like, no.
Not the case.
Yeah, I'm in my house, I'm building my website, I'm marketing, I'm
and
messaging
your
people.
Website, by the way, is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And I know that this would have been so much work, because it is not often that one person is a pro in all of these different facets, right? And so you're an amazing yoga instructor. But to know that you have to handle your business on your own, and your accounting, your sales, like you said, you're all these different developments, it can be really difficult. And I mean, the first time that I looked at your website, I just remember thinking how professional it was and how easy it was to get through and how it flowed so well. And being an entrepreneur myself, I just recognized all of the work that you had put into it.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. You're so welcome. You deserve it, because most people don't see the back end.
Yeah.
It can also be a really huge discouraging point for a new entrepreneur, because when they get started, they're like, I'm good at yoga, that's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sell this, this, this. And they don't account for these other pieces.
Yeah.
So when they get to them and they're hard, it's discouraging, and a lot of people will walk away or fold. They'll fight or flight, right? They're fighting. I'm out. When we have a few choices here. We can learn. Some things we can learn. And then sometimes you just have to become really good at delegating.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about how when at the beginning you're starting a business, you come to Costa Rica, you're like, okay, so I'm going to do all these things. Then it comes to the point where you have to put out a little bit of money in order to build your business. And then people start thinking, oh my, but I have no money.
Yeah.
How I can't do it. Okay, again, I'm out. I can't invest any money.
No.
But to think outside of the box as an entrepreneur would, as like trading services, for example, you know,
that is
trading skills.
Yeah. Bartering. Like, do you know how many yoga classes I've given where I've exchanged for food, where I've exchanged for a Reiki session, for a massage, for a video edit, for some website work. Like, if you meet the right people and you just ask for help, like, hey, I really want this beautiful website, but this is hard for me on my own. I don't have a lot of money. Universe, please provide someone that can help. And then someone shows up at your next yoga class and they're like, hey, I've seen your website. Like, can I maybe help you out in exchange for a few yoga classes? And you're like, yes, you may.
I'm like, what do you do? Oh, I'm in web design. Oh, are you?
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, let's talk.
I'm looking at your nice camera right here, and I'm like, oh, maybe, you know, we could do a trade with you taking videos for me. And
truly, like, this is what it's all about. And it's so important to have other entrepreneurs in your circle.
Yes.
Whether you know nobody right now, I promise you, especially with the power of social media, if you just start lightly, not pushing, nothing has to be forced, but if you start getting yourself out there and just making relationships, trying the yoga class, trying the this, trying to that, people come into your life, and the more that you genuinely put that energy out and you authentically get to know people, having those people, whether they are starting out entrepreneurs or they are entrepreneurs that you consider to be like leap years ahead of you, we all get to learn from one another. And it's such an important space to have.
Yeah, that's been so significant in my business. Like, the people that have showed up in my yoga classes are mostly entrepreneurs, and you know, we're helping each other and we're learning from each other, and just not being afraid to ask for help. Like, honestly, that's a huge thing.
It's huge.
Yeah, when you're a one man or one woman show, it's like, don't be afraid to, you know, ask for help, reach out, and the things that you aren't good at, like, you don't have to be good at everything. That's okay. Like, you can't. Right,
I tell my girls all the time, you can't be good at everything. You know, when one of them is better at something than the other, I'm like, okay, but remember last week when you were way better at this than the other one was? And that's okay. We all have our strong suits. Yeah, it's time we celebrate them. We're not conforming we all have to be good at these 4 subjects and that's it. That's not the way it works. No. It just isn't.
Right.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Number 3, what hardships? Nope, we already did that one. Number 4, if you could go back and tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
So my dad has always told me, if do something while it feels good, and when it stops feeling good, then stop doing it. I'm like, okay, that seems simple enough. I love that
so much.
Like, literally, like, do the things that feel good, and when they stop feeling good, then you're done with it. And just it's kind of this idea of non-attachment, right? Like, we get attached to things. Like, being a teacher, that was my life, that was my identity. And so even though it wasn't something that was filling me up anymore, I wasn't feeling good about it, I knew that I needed to stop it, because if not, I'm just exhausting myself. My energy is low, creating physical illnesses in your body because you're still doing something that is not serving you.
Right.
And that's been the same for me in this yoga business that I've created. Is it's like, okay, teaching online has been wonderful. I have the most amazing community of people online, but every day I'm waking up stressed out because the internet is crap, and because, you know, the sound quality, I don't have the equipment for it, and the people like are having trouble signing on, and it's just like the stress factor.
Right.
So instead of waking up like I do when I come to my in-person classes and I'm like, yes, I get to go teach yoga on the beach today,
chat with a few ladies,
right, just like enjoy my morning, those days kind of stress me out. And so I'm like, okay, this isn't really feeling good anymore. So it's time to pivot, adjust, change it. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going to start recording videos and doing more of like a monthly membership with video recordings.
Right.
I've invested in the nice like microphones, and I mean, you have this beautiful camera that maybe we can exchange.
Oh, we got you, girl.
Yeah. So it's like And that's exciting to me, like thinking of this platform that I can open up. I met a girl that's an entrepreneur in Denmark, and she is a yoga therapist. She's teaching hormonal yoga. She has like 700 monthly members.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what?
And the online platform right now obviously is just, it's exploding.
Yes. Yeah.
Not only do people know that they need to find things that are online right now, but there has been such a, to the people that are willing to just open up a little bit to the responsibility that they have with their bodies.
Yeah.
They're really noticing that their mental, emotional, and physical self is their responsibility, and they're wanting it. They're needing it. They know that they're needing it, and they're looking to connect with those people, and right now online is a big part of that.
Yeah, and it's just like in any system that you're in, you have to roll with the punches, right? And the pendulum will swing one way, and you just have to be open to, there goes the funny sound of your air conditioner. Costa Rica. All the weird sounds. But also I just want to mention that when you meet people, when you meet other entrepreneurs and you see what they're doing, let them inspire you. Like, let them be like, wow, if this person's doing that, why can't I do that?
100%.
And those people open up possibilities to you that maybe you didn't see before. I never thought of like putting out video recordings and having hundreds of like followers, but now I'm like, I can do that. I can absolutely do that.
And you know what? That brings a huge point that I love to speak on that I don't know if I have in the series yet, and it's that there's more than enough for everybody.
Yes.
And just because one person is doing online yoga classes doesn't mean that there isn't literally billions of other people there looking for your class that are going to identify and connect with your energy better than maybe that other person's.
Right.
It happened all the time. Even in my training studio that I used to work in, we had a number of wonderful trainers, and it was not uncommon for just you to connect with some people, and your type of training and your type of energy connects with some people better than it does the other. And it had nothing to do with like surface level, I don't like you and I like her.
No.
It's literally the energy that works with other people's energy and how they receive things and what motivates them to work harder. And it did so much to teach me, like, even if a person just stopped coming to my classes altogether because they only wanted somebody else's classes, it had nothing to do with
you.
With me. No. It had something to do with what they weren't getting what they needed from this particular person energy-wise. And that is the truth with everything here, with everything in this world.
That's so important too. Like, I sometimes will think of the people that I want to invite to class, and I'm like, actually, I don't want to invite those people to class. Like, those aren't people I resonate with. Those aren't people that I vibe with. Why am I like trying to invite them? That's obviously a lack mindset. Like, I don't have enough, I need more.
I just need to fill the spaces with anybody.
Right. And it's
we don't have to do that.
No. And that's how energy works, right? You have this wavelength, and when you meet someone on the same wavelength, you actually multiply and you double your wavelength.
Right.
And so it's this resonance that happens with two people. Like me and you easily can have this conversation and it's like easy. But if it was someone that I wasn't on the same energy wavelength with, it would feel awkward and uncomfortable, and we'd probably be, sitting like this. And,
it wouldn't flow as easily.
Yeah. And that's, I think, so important, like such a good point to bring up as entrepreneurs is like, find your people and serve those people.
Serve them.
Do not try to serve everyone. Like, you're not for everyone, and everyone's not for you, and that's okay. And that's,
when you're living in your authentic self as you do, you're going to attract those people, right?
Yeah.
So important, so beautiful. Like, this is the gold of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I truly believe that because I've been in entrepreneur kind of mindset, I guess, in and out for over a decade now. And I've watched and learned, I've invested in many courses for entrepreneur, and I've watched many of my friends go through the ebbs and flows of becoming or unbecoming or giving up. And this is the gold. It's the energy, it's the being authentic, it is showing up as your true self and doing something that you love, and as you beautifully said it, not only doing it because it's going to make you money. I tell someone, if you're gonna go start selling a product for somebody else or for a different company or something, just make sure you love that product.
Yes.
Make sure you love that product so much you can live and breathe and stand behind that product, and it will sell itself.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, you live and breathe yoga. That's what it is, and people can feel that from you. So then it doesn't feel like a forced movement.
Yeah. It's literally what my message was in class today.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just.
We're so in flow. I love it.
Yeah, just
I
following.
was sad I missed class this morning.
It's okay. You had to get beautified before.
I did. I had to do the things. There were things that needed to be done, but yes.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, so question number 5 is, what do you think is the difference between you and every other woman out there thinking that they wish they could run their own business, but think they can't for whatever reason?
I think action. I think the action is like what might set me apart from other entrepreneurs or people that are afraid to start their entrepreneurial
Potential
entrepreneurialship.
We're gonna call it a word. It's a word today.
I think it is a word. I just said it weird. But anyways, the action that comes with the vision, right? So you get this vision, you're excited about it. It's like something that you could see yourself doing, but then it's like, oh, but that means I have to be seen. Oh, but that means I have to talk to people. Oh, but that means I have to like learn this new skill. And so it's just the action step. Like that is the hardest part, is taking the first step. If you're a runner or you go exercise, you know the hardest part is putting your shoes on and tying them. And then they're on and you're like, okay, now we're ready.
Let's go.
But it's like just taking that first step is, I think, what sets me apart maybe from people that haven't started yet. And it's walking into the hostel and awkwardly asking people to come practice with you, or reaching out to people online and asking if they want to join your class.
It's making that decision back home, thinking this isn't serving me, and I mean, I'm going from here and I'm gonna go teach yoga or take my yoga course there in Costa Rica. Those are big, scary decisions.
And you have to also notice that like once you close one door, like there is always another door opening. It's like we talk about in yoga, right? Like you have to create space in your body. If you're like holding all this tension, you're never going to become more flexible because you don't have the flexibility in your body. You're not allowing it. So it's like breathe into that space. You need to surrender, soften. And then you get a little space and I can twist a little further, fold a little deeper. So it's the same with this this idea of like letting doors close and knowing, hey, that's just created this huge space. I had no idea I was going to be teaching yoga in Costa Rica. I knew that I wanted to do my yoga training eventually, but that was all that I knew. And when I quit my job, it was like, I quit my job to look for another job. I was like burnt out at my school district, like just needed a change. So I was like, okay, I'll go look for other jobs. And every listing that I saw, nothing excited me. I was like, I don't want to work at that school. That school's too far. I don't like that principal, da da da. And then it was like I was in a relationship and we broke up, and I'm like, okay, well, there goes my future husband I thought I was going to have. Like, never mind. And
which maybe was like that last tie, keeping you in physical place.
Well, and I lived with him and I lost my house as well. So it was like, okay, goodbye job.
Where's a good place to live?
Goodbye house.
I guess we'll try Costa Rica.
Literally. That's
amazing.
That's literally what happened. Is I was like, okay, well, I could literally go anywhere and do anything. Like, let's meditate on it. Let's see what comes up. And I went to this awesome festival. It was like a yoga festival. And I just had so much fun. I'm like, you know what? Do this full time. Like I could just be like this yoga girl, just like doing yoga things all the time. Like why not? And tropical Costa Rica called my name, and here I am. And it's been 2 years of living here, and
which is amazing.
And so cool. Even just now,
you're just like I did that.
I'm looking at the ocean. You can't see the view, but it is a gorgeous view of the ocean.
We'll show you the view one day.
But it's just like, I did that. I took the action steps to get here. It's not luck. It's not money. It's not someone that it was me. I made the decision, and I knew that I was not happy where I was. And I said, I'm going to choose a happy life. I know that no matter what, I'm going to have a happy life. And if these things aren't serving me, then I will find something that will. And that's why I'm still here today, because this serves me. This is where I feel in my element, in my flow. I changed my name on Instagram right before I left for Costa Rica, Flow with Amber. I have no idea why I changed it, but I was like...
But then it became your entire business name.
Yeah. I had a whole other business name. I had branding for it, and then I was like, this isn't... There was actually someone in town that had the same name that I never saw.
Oh, really?
Until, after I did everything, and I was like, oh no. Went on my 10-week backpack trip.
This is a sign.
I know. I had to go on a backpacking trip by myself and re-find who I was and what I wanted to be and all these things, and came back and I was like, I'm Flow with Amber, and I'm in my flow, and I am finding my happiness being here and serving in this way.
That's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
And I wanted to touch on the fact that you said you were out, you know, at this event, and you had this thought that I could do this full time, and I could do this, and this would be so lovely, and this would be so cool. So many people have these thoughts, and they dismiss them immediately, thinking
that
to yourself, that can't
Yeah.
happen. That's too crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that thought process and that feeling of only the fortunate few get to be happy with what they're doing. And it's not. It's just not that way. And the difference is the action. Is the taking action and being okay with the problem solving, like we spoke about today. It's so damn powerful.
Yeah. Solution-based thinking, that is...
Solution-based thinking, yes.
The key.
Question number 6, my friend, is what is your definition of a beautiful life?
This.
You are living it?
This. My definition of a beautiful life. Freedom, independence, peace, bliss.
Yes.
Yeah. Just all the things that light you up within. I think that's such a key part. Like, is your heart beating fast? Are you filled with light? Are you energized? Are you living your best life? I know that's such like a cliche thing to say, but it is literally how I feel. Like, there's not another place I would rather be. There's not another place that I feel at home. Like, one of my friends just came to visit me, and she's like, I just can't picture you anywhere else. And I'm like, neither can I. Like, this is where I'm meant to be. And it might not be forever, and that's okay too. But right now, in the present moment, which is how we all should be living, right?
Absolutely.
Is for what lights you up right now. This is it. And yeah.
I really love how you answered that question, because you answered it all with feelings, with very simple, pinpointed feelings, which if you close your eyes and you listened to Amber's words with that, it was all feeling and emotion based. This is what a beautiful life encompasses. And you know, I get a lot, because I talk about the beautiful life a lot, and I get people actually on my social media a lot saying, oh, it's all about the money, or it's all about the Lamborghinis, I'm like, oh, but you couldn't be further from the truth. Not one person that I've asked this question to has said anything about like monetary things. They've all said something, not necessarily feeling based. You were the first one to actually say something feeling based with that. But it was all just being able to wake up and be passionate about what you're doing, and like living and breathing happiness and freedom in some way, shape, or form is what was articulated by each person. And I think that's so beautiful and so cool.
I feel like close to tears, just because I have been reflecting a lot lately, because it's like a few days past my 2-year anniversary of moving here, and just how much that I've gone through to get here. And it was hard. Like, it wasn't this easy road. It wasn't just like I arrived in Costa Rica and Costa Rica accepted me and all of a sudden I had a booming business. Like, no, it's been a long time coming, and I just feel like really in alignment. And I also finally feel at peace with like being alone. And even if I'm in a relationship or not, and if I'm close to my family or not, like, I can be with myself. And that's like the hugest piece of growth that I've learned from moving here and from starting this business, is like, wow, I've really come back into who I am and who I'm becoming. And it's such a beautiful experience to be able to do that. Not a lot of people do that in their life. They might live their whole life outside of their bodies or outside of themselves, where they're codependent or they have these things that they attach themselves to. And I really feel like for the first time I can genuinely say, like, I don't feel attached to anything. Like, I am living here presently and enjoying it so much, and whatever is coming is going to be even more beautiful than this, which is hard to imagine. But yeah, it's just trusting. And I think that is also a key word that I want to throw out there, is trust, because when you're starting something new, of course it's scary, of course it's hard, but if you just trust and you're following your why, your dharma, you're, following this path, you start to see that the universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, will take care of the how, and you just really need to figure out your intention behind it. Like, if I'm leading with my heart, and I've got my grounded feet, and I talk about that a lot in yoga, like heart-led, grounded feet, that's when you know that you're in your flow, and that's when you have a beautiful life. That's my definition.
Where it's at.
So Yeah.
It's beautiful. I think that you are going to do so many beautiful things. I can't wait to see what the next year, 2 years, 10 years has in store for you. I can't wait to re-interview you a couple years down the road and be like, remember that one time? It's going to be beautiful. Thank you so much for being here today and for giving everybody out there these tidbits, these golden nuggets and these tidbits of hope and the truth between of entrepreneurship and specifically, female entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much, Jess.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of FEMME-PRENEUR. It's so near and dear to my heart to have these women share their stories, be real, raw, and authentic so that every single woman out there watching this knows that if you have a dream, if you feel a calling to go for it, you absolutely can. You have everything inside of you that you need to get started. Don't give up on yourself. You got this. Sending you so much love, so many hugs, and all of the powerful vibes in this world. You got this.